Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and today we're doing episode 4 of the 2026 US Nationals. And this video we are going over our team's preliminary and final results. So I'm super excited with this episode because teams was one of the events that I was super excited about doing with my newfound teammates Shea, Christina, and Meagan, and we really had a lot of fun. But I want to go over our practice and what we did in preparation for the preliminary round. And then once we got into the finals, what our strategy was in order to try to achieve our goals. So Christina, Shea, and I live relatively close for Texan terms per se. We're still about an hour and a half away from each other, but we're within driving distance. And so we have practiced with each other before. Christina, Shea, and I did do the week before the Nationals, we practiced with just the three of us. Meagan, on the other hand, is up in Minnesota, but she does actually have family in the city that Christina lives in. So, it might be interesting if we team up again, she could actually come down and practice with us. But ultimately, she did not have a chance to come down, and therefore we just practiced the three of us. And so once we got to Atlanta, we did meet up eventually. And on Saturday, before our preliminary round, we did do a bunch of practice puzzles. And we did relatively well. We were in that 40-minute mark for a 1,000-piece puzzle. And we were trying to see if we can get under that 40-minute mark, because that's kind of where you want to be in the top teams. And, we did pretty good. We did a couple Ravensburgers, and honestly, we were doing good. Our times were relatively up there, and we felt pretty confident. We kind of got our assembly with the trays going. We kind of had a strategy of, who did what. However, when we got to the competition room, things had to change a little bit because the second puzzle was on the side of the table, and so Meagan was in charge of getting it, but I was closer to it. So it was kind of a bit of rearranging some tactics. But let's go ahead and talk teams real quick. In Nationals, unlike the other competitions that come like Texas Championship, SpeedPuzzling.com, or even the local ones, you do 2 puzzles, actually. You don't just do 1. And in the preliminary round, it was a 500-piece, which is this one here, Lookout Mountain, Ravensburger. And then there was a 1,000-piece after that, which our preliminary round, we had the Final Curtain. Now, you have to do them back to back. You can't do them simultaneously, and you cannot pull out the second puzzle early either. So basically, you have to do in order the 500 and 1,000, and then once you're finished both puzzles, that's when you're done. So our strategy was, once we finished the first puzzle, I would burrito the 500-piece puzzle here, push it into the box that Christina's holding, and she's across from me. Meagan would get the next puzzle, and then her and Shea would open that one once we've gotten the first puzzle off the board. And you have to have the first puzzle completely off the competition space in order for us to continue on with the 1,000-piece. So that was something that me and Christina were definitely trying to practice. The burrito, I call it, you basically fold it into a thirds and then push. And that way you don't have to crumble up the puzzle, have to get scattered pieces. And ultimately, since you're taking the puzzle home, you don't end up missing pieces. It doesn't go everywhere. It's just a lot harder to pick up and deal with, unfortunately. So you do want to do a good method of clearing that first puzzle off. So Christina and I were pretty confident. I was pretty confident in my burrito abilities. But again, the puzzle was on my side and not Meagan. So she had to run around me in order to grab the second puzzle, basically. So that was a bit of a change of tactic. We worked with it. We worked around it. We figured we'd probably switch me and Christina and Shea and Meagan. They would be on that side, we'd be on this side. And I think that might have actually been a better idea for other reasons that I'll get into shortly. But let's go ahead and start with the preliminary round. So after all our practice, after we finally kind of got some roles in place, we went into the competition room. This will be on Saturday, March 28th. And there are 2 team preliminary rounds with 100 teams apiece. And the top 50 of each round would go to finals. So we definitely want to be in the top 50 teams to move on to the finals. And so we were in Group B. So my solo and pairs were all Group A. Now I finally got into a B section. AAB was my preliminary round heats, basically. But we were preliminary B, which is 4:30 in the afternoon. So finally I got an afternoon slot. But the preliminary A was at 1:30. So we kind of actually finally had a round, or at least I did, where I could see the puzzles beforehand on the first round and then see, or maybe kind of predict what we would get in our round. Now, we've always been the first one going, so we've had no way of knowing, what the puzzles would be or if that set any type of pattern, I suppose. So, kind of happy about that. And in the first preliminary round, the 500 piece was Savannah, Georgia. I'll show you a picture of it here. So it was basically some colorful houses with some greenery and the street in the corner. And, I kind of like it. I hope to get hold of it one day, but for now it's just a cute puzzle. And, I think that one was easier than ours, for sure, but maybe not by much. And then their second puzzle, the 1000 piece, Plundered Putt, I think it is one of the Ravensburger's, abandoned places kind of type of style. And so I really liked that puzzle. That was definitely my favorite one of the teams. And I wish we had gotten it because our 1000 piece puzzle wasn't as pretty or as nice. So, preliminary A did pretty well. They had the top 50 teams final qualify. The fastest team did it in 55 minutes and 55 seconds, so they got under the hour. So they did pretty good, and that's 1,500 pieces. So just to put that in perspective of how fast we have to be. So we get to our seats in the preliminary B, and we are at table 6. So not quite at the top tables. I don't know if I've mentioned it in my prior videos, but the top 4 tables were actually had cameras on the overhead, so we were slightly out of those cameras, but we were very close to the top tables. And I definitely think I felt the pressure here because I really did set a goal for our team. My goal hopefully was to be in the top 3 in our preliminary round and top 5 for the finals. So I figured that we had such a strong team with Christina, Shea, Meagan, and I that it was very doable. But I do remember that there are some very strong teams, specifically from California. So again, I might have slightly underestimated some of these teams a little. But we'll see how it goes for the preliminary round. So again, our 500-piece puzzle was the Lookout Mountain, which as you can see here I've done by myself, which I actually, doing it a second time, it wasn't as hard as I thought. It was a little difficult, don't get me wrong, but it was a bit more sectioned out than I remember, but you'll see the footage here in a second. And then our second puzzle was the Final Curtain, which I think Meagan took home, or Shea did, one of the two. I just wanted the 500. I didn't want to take a 1,000-piece puzzle home, because I don't plan to speed punt a 1,000-piece one if I've already done it as a team. So those are the puzzles we'll be doing in our preliminary round. And, of course, I'd have to mention our team name is Piece de Resistance, and how that name came to be, it was kind of one of those names that got cycled through. We all started kind of throwing names in the pile and be like, okay, which one kind of shouts out to us? And that was the winner, basically. I am not good with titles, and it was kind of funny. And then, of course, as you can see, I am wearing our team shirt, and we kind of went through some different ideas. Ultimately, a lot of speed puzzlers have mascots, and so we decided to do kind of our mascots combined. And so, as you can see, I am the black cat right here. Christina is a corgi because she actually does breed corgis, which they are so cute. She sends me pictures all the time. And then Meagan was a golden retriever, because I think that's one of her favorite type of dogs. And then Shea also likes black cats, but so she decided to not do 2 black cats on the design. Her second favorite was a T-Rex, and so hers is green T-Rex. And so these were our color base as well. So the colors, orange, I think is Christina's favorite color, etc. Purple is kind of my channel color. And so those were the colors we picked based off that. And I think the design came out very cute. On the back of our shirts is our last names, which kind of like a sports jersey, kind of how we did it. And then the company that made this t-shirt is actually a small business owner, my friend Melinda, and her business is called Mel's T-Shirts and Accessories, and she basically specializes in speed puzzling merch, which is t-shirts, luggage tags, all sorts of different things. And so she kind of kickstarted her company, and she actually pretty much debuted at Nationals as one of the vendors that was in the convention hall, basically. So I'm very happy that she got our t-shirts in. We were super excited when we got them. So thank you, Melinda. Much appreciated. I will definitely be keeping this shirt around a lot. So most teams did do t-shirts, and they are honestly great. A lot of people did matching t-shirts, and that's one of the fun thing about teams is you kind of get to accessorize and kind of customize things like that. So I think I need to do a t-shirt with my logo for my solo stuff, but that'll be something I'll do for another day. I probably should have done it at Nationals. I just didn't have the time and, frankly, the budget for it after these t-shirts. So, but definitely wanted to show you our design. And yes, it was created by AI. I did try to get my sister, who is a graphic designer, to design it, but she did not have the time, unfortunately, and based off the time I had in order to get it to Melinda, prior to Nationals, I had to utilize it. And I think it's one of those, AI is a tool, and I think, for purposes of non-puzzle things, it worked out. It did a cute job, but I get it. AI is kind of one of those controversial topics in the puzzling world, but almost a lot of the t-shirts I saw there was created by AI, to be fair. We weren't the only team like that. Anyway, alrighty, so let's do a preliminary round. Our goal is to be in the top 5. Will we do it? Let's smash it.
I want to check really quick. Are you ready to puzzle? All right, so we're going to start the timer. And we're going to get ready here, and we're going to count down together, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we missed it. 120. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Just relentless in terms of moving forward. Like, do what you have to do.
Love it. Oh, here we go. See another team dumping them out. Okay, so who is this?
Yeah, I don't have it.
So table 6.
Oh, okay.
That is Shea Burkett, Christina Harwell, Meagan Brecker-Hahn, Melinda Schockler. So Piece de Resistance. I love the name. So that was table 6 that also finished just now.
Well, yeah, Shea wasn't
Shea
like
was in a top
second,
finisher
third.
yesterday.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah. Oh,
yep, in
first.
the prelim,
Yeah,
individual
yeah.
prelim.
So Shea is super fast.
You need to teach me to puzzle as fast as you, so I can just have my team just give me pieces. Here, assemble. That's pretty great.
Can 3.5 men make an official nomination for every team's race to start with a 500?
I've heard so much good feedback about this. I think it's being heard for sure.
What about finals?
Fine, we'll just switch it really quick. We'll talk to Rob, see if they have enough of something else.
Well, we did Lookout Mountain and the final curtain in 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 7 seconds. Honestly, not too bad because that final curtain puzzle was hard. And I mean, it was so difficult. You can't really tell in the picture, but it's dark, very dark. The picture makes it look a lot lighter in color and easier to distinguish, but yeah, this puzzle was definitely on the harder side, and the results kind of speak on that because no team did both the 500 and the 1,000 piece under the hour. The first place team got 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 22 seconds, and that team included the Boy Wonder from Houston. So you can pretty much tell that that puzzle was just so difficult. And based on my opinion, it was the worst puzzle of the entire Nationals. But here's the thing, I think they did very good at selecting all the other puzzles. This was probably just their one, I'd say, misstep. And, you know, it's a cute puzzle. Casually, it would have been great, but for speed, this puzzle was not fun. I got stuck with the gold section. I did do the blue dress, which was relatively easy, a little bit hard in some places, but I managed to get it done. And I know that our team was just struggling. Christina kind of had the bottom going. Shea had the curtain and sort of the middle area with the castle. Meagan was trying to do a couple different things going. And yeah, it was a slow progress because we finished the Lookout Mountain here in just under 20 minutes, which is great. We always want to be under 20 minutes for a 500-piece puzzle for teams. And we actually were in 4th place, or at least tied in 4th, because I think we and another team tied exactly with this puzzle. So we actually were ahead, but the 1,000-piece final curtain slowed us down quite a bit. And so we ultimately ended up in 8th place. So we succeeded in getting to the finals. However, we weren't quite in the top 3. Close, but not quite. And again, I think it was really due to the puzzle. It was just such a difficult one. It was dark, and I think we all kind of got a little bit frustrated with it. But we got through, we powered through it, and you know what? Happy with the result. You know, we weren't too much over 1 hour 20, but as you can probably guess, it took us a little over 1 hour to do that puzzle. And it usually takes us between 40 and 45 minutes for 1,000 piece. So it was easily 15 to 20 minutes slower than our normal time. So that was preliminary round B, and so we moved on to the finals, which was the next day on Sunday. And it was the 3rd and final round of Nationals. So I went over pairs last time. That was the first finals in the day, and then second was solos, which I'll be going over in the next video. And then finally we had teams. So teams kind of finalizes everything, wraps it up, and basically is the last event. And it's very, you know, it's not as stressful as solos or pairs. It's more relaxing. You get to enjoy your team. You get to just sort of power through 2,000 pieces and just do your best and have a lot of fun with your teammates. I think that's a good way to end Nationals, ending with the teams like this. Now, as you can, I said 2,000 pieces. Yes. So in the preliminary round, they actually switched it from 2,000 pieces to 1,500. But in the finals, they still had it as 2,000 pieces, aka doing 2 1,000-piece puzzles back to back. And again, the same format applies. You do the 1,000-piece puzzle first, in the same order. You don't do it in a random order. You don't get to pick, basically. And once you finish that puzzle, you have to get it off the competition space, push it off, and then open up the next one. And you'll do that back to back. So, the 2 puzzles that we got were Mountainside puzzling, which I think is very cute. It's, you know, doing puzzles in the mountains. I kind of did that back in Oklahoma a little while back. It was kind of fun just, you know, doing puzzles in the cabin. And then we did beach treasures, which is a little bit deceiving, but it's not super difficult. Compared to the final curtain, it wasn't super difficult. But there were spots in this puzzle that were very difficult. And I'll go over them at the end of the time lapse. Now, our goal for finals was to get in the top 5. But after the preliminary round, I figured maybe just get in the top 10 because we'll get a trophy from the top 10. But again, I can't quite change the goal, you know, in the moment. It's still there, but I think I really just wanted to see our team kind of get a trophy at this point. And so, you know, I was hoping that, you know, the puzzles would be good to us. We won't have another final curtain and we'll do very well. And Mountainside Puzzling had its spots, but it wasn't nearly as bad. So, team final for nationals. Let's smash it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We did 3 minutes slower than 1500. Do you want a picture with this?
They come up with various puzzle-related pun names for themselves, and it's kind of a pastime. This is piece de resistance.
Yeah,
and that's I'm always amazed at puzzlers' abilities. I want to double check the.
Oh yeah,
check
I've
the
got the time up.
I think it's 33 minutes and 15 seconds.
Wow.
On that first one.
That's
is
impressive.
that surprising to you, or is that like, yeah, we do that on Tuesdays? Like that's the
I don't know if we've ever been together on a Tuesday, actually. Ever.
Good point. Or a Monday. I've never been with you on a Monday.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, no.
I'm
surprised.
I'm surprised.
Just
That's an amazing
for the
time.
number 10 spot. So that completes our first through 10.
Nice.
Sorry,
Piece
piece
de
de
resistance,
resistance.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yay.
Well, we did those two 1,000 piece puzzles in 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 13 seconds. And that got us 10th place. I know, I was so happy we snuck it right in that 10th place marker. So yes, I was very happy where we landed. You know, when you're actually in the moment, it's very hard to tell how many people had finished ahead of you because you hear the clapping and you're going on. But yeah, the fact that we got 10th place was just amazing because Christina, Shea, and I, we've been practicing together, but we hadn't practiced with Meagan until basically we met up with her at Atlanta. And so the fact that we coordinated our speed and our abilities together for the first time at Nationals, and we still got in the top 10. I'm so proud of our team. I'm very happy that we got a chance to get that place. And like I said earlier, if you're in the top 10, you get a trophy. And I could happily like to show you this. It's a little hard to see on camera because it is see-through. But yes, U.S. Jigsaw 10th place teams. It is so cute. And I get to stop hiding it and I can showcase it on my channel now. But yes, we did get a trophy, and we did walk across the stage in closing ceremonies. So I was very happy about that. Now, real quick, before I kind of continue on with the celebrations, I want to go over the puzzles real quick with y'all. The first puzzle was mountainside puzzling, and it was actually relatively okay until we kind of got to that fireplace. It was rather dark in that section, but ultimately we kind of got through it. We shape sorted a little bit. I figured an early shape sort would make us quick. And it did. And we actually got the puzzle done in 40 minutes and 20 seconds. So we were so close to getting under 40 minutes for that puzzle. And we were actually in 11th place for that. So we were a little bit slower than what we ended up finalizing at the end. So the fact that we actually bumped up a place on the second puzzle, Beach Treasures, which we ended up finishing that in 42 minutes, and almost 43 minutes basically. And so we got ahead of one team a little bit, and that pushed us up to 10th place. We were in our normal time frame of finishing a 1,000-piece puzzle with these two. And so that time definitely reflects that. It does kind of go to show how much harder that final curtain puzzle was, because we were only 3 minutes faster with 1,500 pieces versus 2,000. That final curtain puzzle was just the only puzzle I didn't like during Nationals. The rest of the puzzles were awesome, even the ones I didn't even get a chance to do. They all were a great selection, and I think that the USA JPA board should give themselves a pat on the back for the selection of these puzzles. And I think Christina took the beach treasures home, and I think Shea took home the mountainside puzzling. I think that's it, because I think Meagan took home the final curtain, which I don't know why she wanted it, but maybe she just ended up with it. I feel sorry for her. I'm sorry, Meagan. You got the worst of the four. And I actually did do this puzzle here in 52 minutes, I believe. I would have been faster. I would have been under 50 minutes, I think, if I just hadn't had a horrendous start. I didn't flip all the pieces, and I was like very slow at the very beginning. Yeah. But the puzzle, I'm looking back on it, and when we were doing it as a team, I'm like, this rock here was difficult. But when I was doing it by myself, it had distinct sections. It was distinguishable enough. It was still a little bit slower than I was expecting, but I think my start was just so bad that it just hurt my time ultimately. I think I checked on myspeedpuzzling.com to see if anyone's done it by themselves, and a few people have. I think I would be second place right now. But again, I've technically done it once, I guess. I don't know. I only really did this section of the sky and, a picked in place in the middle, but, I guess I technically did a quarter of the puzzle. So who was the fastest team? Well, the Juggernauts. And I believe Alice is on that team, and she is going to come up in the next video. You'll see why. And they did it in 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 29 seconds. So they were still about 15 minutes faster than us, which is all right for, a team. It's definitely, they've also been puzzling together for quite a bit. A lot of these teams have been puzzling for years. I mean, I think a few of these teams have been in Nationals, since 2022. So the fact that we're, a first-time team together competing with the veterans, you know what? I think it's a good first impression, and I'm hoping that, you know, if we go next year, either we'll be the same team, we'll be different, however we kind of coordinate it. I think me, Christina, and Shea sort of joked about, you know, could we do a team of 3 if we can't get a 4th person or something? I don't think they'll let us do that. You know, when you have, you know, different states going in teams, it's very hard to coordinate. And surprisingly enough, a lot of teams are from different states. So, you know, they only get to practice once a year, or even just going to nationals and just sort of coordinate practice there. You know, that's basically what we did. But yes, I am super excited that we got a trophy. All 4 of us took home a trophy. And so we get to showcase this on our shelves now. And here's the thing. I have a nationals trophy. I don't have a speedpuzzling.com trophy. I have not gotten one, despite how well I've been placing. But the fact that I kind of joke sometimes is I'm the worst of the best. And so I have to either get first place or I get nothing. I'm just in that bottom part of the strong puzzlers. And the next prize down is the next belt, basically. I think I have 1 or 2 trophies coming, but I believe Jonathan's a little behind on getting these trophies to people because I think one of his family members creates them, like, specialized. So it's, I think, a 6-month delay, which is completely okay. But I don't know, just the way that my results keep landing, I just don't think I'm getting a trophy because I'm just in that weird position of the worst of the best. So I gotta win a competition. That's on Zoom. I think that's just what I have to do. But yeah, I'm very happy to showcase this now. That'll be on my channel moving forward. Now, I know y'all have been wondering, well, how'd you do in the solos? I guess you'll have to find out in the next video. But as for our 2026 US National debuted for the Piece de Resistance, I think we smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
We'll have you enter the stage from this side and then progress over there to get your trophies. So first, let's celebrate our 10th place team, Piece de Resistance. All right, next gonna bring up Peach Please, we're puzzling.